In this video, we'll explore 8 Stoic practices to better manage and control your emotions. It's not about becoming emotionless, but about gaining emotional resilience and tranquility. You'll learn practical techniques to handle life's ups and downs with grace and wisdom. These practices can transform your perspective, leading to a more balanced, fulfilling life. The key theme is self-mastery, learning to navigate our emotional world with skill and equanimity. So, embrace the Stoic spirit. Stay with us till the end and discover the power of Stoicism to enrich your life. Rule number 1. Understand what is in your control. Understanding what is and isn't in our control is a fundamental tenet of Stoicism. It's a simple yet profound concept that can drastically change the way we perceive and respond to the world around us. The Stoics divide the world into 2 categories: things we have control over and things we don't. Our thoughts, actions, beliefs, and attitudes fall into the category of things we can control. You decide how to interpret a situation, how to respond to a challenge, and what values guide your action. For instance, let's say you've been assigned a difficult project at work. You control your attitude towards it. You can view it as a burden, grumble about how hard it is, and let it stress you out. Or you can see it as an opportunity to learn, grow, and prove your abilities. On the other hand, external factors like the weather, traffic, other people's opinions, and past events are things we can't control. No matter how much we fret or worry, we can't change these aspects of life. Going back to our work project example, let's say a team member doesn't do their part or your boss changes the project scope at the last minute. These are factors beyond your control. Understanding this distinction helps us reduce unnecessary stress and anxiety. Often we expend a lot of energy worrying about things we can't control. We fret about what others think of us. We agonize over past mistakes, and we stress about future uncertainties. But this is like trying to control the wind. Impossible and exhausting. When we truly grasp what's in our control and what's not, we can focus our energy and efforts where it matters most. We can tackle the tasks and challenges that lie within our power and accept the things that don't. This doesn't mean we become passive or indifferent to the world around us. On the contrary, it frees us to be more active and effective in areas where we can make a real difference. The Stoics encapsulate this principle beautifully in the Serenity Prayer. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and wisdom to know the difference. So, the next time you find yourself upset or stressed, ask yourself, is this something I can control? If it's not, try to let go of the worry associated with it. If it is, then ask yourself, what is the best way I can respond to this? This simple practice can be a game changer in managing your emotions and achieving greater peace of mind. Remember, Stoicism isn't about suppressing your emotions. It's about understanding them, managing them, and using them in a way that aligns with your values and contributes to your well-being and the well-being of others. So as you go about your day, keep this first rule, Stoicism, in mind. It may not be easy at first, but with practice, it can become a powerful tool for emotional resilience and tranquility. Let's delve deeper into the second Stoic rule, the practice of negative visualization, a powerful tool to manage our expectations and emotions. Contrary to what it might initially sound, this is not about promoting pessimism or negativity, but rather about fostering resilience, gratitude, and emotional equilibrium. Negative visualization is a mental exercise where we imagine situations not going as planned or even worst-case scenarios. This might sound counterintuitive, especially in a society that promotes positive thinking. But let's consider its merits. Firstly, it prepares us for adversity. Life is unpredictable, and despite our best efforts, things can go awry. By mentally rehearsing possible misfortunes, we're less likely to be caught off guard when they occur. Think of it as a fire drill for your mind, helping you to remain calm and respond effectively when crises hit. For example, Imagine you're preparing for an important presentation at work. You've done your research, created your slides, and practiced your speech. But what if the projector fails, or you forget your line, or a key team member falls sick? By visualizing these scenarios, you can develop backup plans and rehearse how you'd respond. This way, if things don't go as planned, you're not paralyzed by panic or disappointment. Secondly, negative visualization can help us appreciate what we have. When we contemplate the potential loss of our possessions, relationships, health, or even life, we realize how much we take for granted. This can foster a profound sense of gratitude and contentment. Imagine you're frustrated with your old car. It's not the latest model, the air conditioning is faulty, and the stereo system is outdated. But what if it was stolen? Suddenly, the inconveniences seem trivial compared to the loss of the car itself. You'd miss the freedom it provides, the memories you've made on road trips, even the comfort of its familiar quirks. This exercise can help you appreciate your car in its entirety, flaws included. Thirdly, negative visualization can reduce our fear of the unknown. Often, our apprehension about potential misfortunes is worse than the misfortunes themselves. By confronting our fears head-on, we can demystify them, reducing their emotional hold on us. For instance, consider the fear of public speaking. Rather than avoiding it, imagine the worst that could happen. You could stutter, forget your points, the audience could laugh. Now, ask yourself, would that be the end of the world? Probably not. You'd learn from the experience, improve, and maybe even laugh about it someday. In conclusion, negative visualization is a powerful Stoic tool to build resilience, foster gratitude, and reduce fear. It's not about dwelling on the negative, but about preparing for it, appreciating the present, and liberating ourselves from the fear of the future. So, the next time you find yourself worrying about what could go wrong, remember this Stoic practice. You might find it's not so negative after all. Let's delve deeper into the third rule: live according to nature. At first glance, living according to nature might make you think of spending more time outdoors or adopting a more eco-friendly lifestyle. However, in Stoicism, this phrase carries a more philosophical meaning. It is about aligning ourselves with the natural order of the universe and accepting things as they are, including our emotion. Stoics believe that everything in the universe is governed by a rational and purposeful order. They argue that human beings, as part of this universe, have a specific nature that they should try to live in accordance with. This involves recognizing our own rationality, our capacity for virtue, and our social nature. Living according to nature means accepting that we are rational beings. It involves using our reason to navigate life and its challenges rather than being swayed by external circumstances or destructive emotion. For instance, when confronted with a difficult situation, a Stoic would encourage you to use reason to understand the problem, make rational decisions, and respond appropriately, rather than reacting out of fear or anger. Living according to nature also means embracing our capacity for virtue. Stoics argue that virtue, understood as wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance, is the highest good and aligns us with our true nature. Practicing these virtues allows us to handle our emotions more effectively. For example, if you're feeling overwhelmed by anger, the virtue of temperance can help you to calm down and respond in a balanced way. The virtue of wisdom can help you to understand why you're feeling angry and how to address the root cause. Finally, living according to nature means recognizing and fulfilling our social obligations. Stoics believe that human beings are inherently social creatures and that we should strive to contribute positively to our community. This involves treating others with kindness and respect and understanding that their opinions and actions are beyond our control. When someone upsets us, a Stoic would encourage us to respond with understanding and empathy rather than letting our emotions get the better of us. Now, you might be wondering, what does all this have to do with controlling our emotions? Well, by living according to nature, we can create a solid foundation for emotional resilience. By using our reason, practicing virtue, and fulfilling our social obligations, we can navigate life's ups and downs with grace and equanimity. We can accept our emotions as natural responses to the world around us, without letting them control our action. Remember, the goal isn't to repress or eliminate our emotions. Instead, it's to understand them, accept them, and manage them effectively. It's about aligning our emotional responses with our rational nature and our capacity for virtue. It's about living in harmony with the natural order of the universe and finding peace and tranquility in the process. So the next time you find yourself swept up in a storm of emotions, try to take a step back. Use your reason to understand what's happening. Practice virtue in your response. And remember your social obligation. Live according to nature, and let the wisdom of Stoicism guide you towards emotional resilience and tranquility. Let's delve deeper into the fourth rule. Live in the present. Living in the present, also known as mindfulness, is a fundamental concept in Stoicism. It is the practice of fully immersing oneself in the current moment, not dwelling on the past or fretting about the future. It's about existing right here, right now. Our minds have an inherent tendency to wander. We often find ourselves reminiscing about the past or anticipating the future. While reflection and foresight are important, excessive dwelling can lead to feelings of regret or anxiety. Stoicism teaches us that the past is immutable and the future is unpredictable. The only thing we can truly control is the present. Consider this scenario. You're at a concert, one you've been eagerly waiting for, but instead of enjoying the music, you're busy trying to capture the perfect photo for your social media. In trying to document the experience for future enjoyment, you're missing out on fully experiencing the present moment. This is where the Stoic practice of living in the present can greatly enhance our experiences and overall happiness. Marcus Aurelius, one of the most recognized Stoic philosophers, once said, "Do not let the panorama of your life oppress you. Do not dwell on all the various troubles which may have occurred in the past or may occur in the future. Rather look at the present and ask yourself what duty demands of you." This beautifully encapsulates the idea of living in the present. It's about focusing on the task at hand, the person you're conversing with, the food you're eating, the breath you're taking. It's about fully engaging in the current activity, not being distracted by past regrets or future worry. Applying this rule can have profound impacts on your life. By focusing on the present, you can reduce stress, increase your appreciation for life's simple pleasures, and improve your relationships. You'll find that you're more productive at work as you're not constantly distracted by unrelated thoughts. You'll enjoy your leisure time more as you're fully immersed in the activity. Practicing mindfulness also enhances emotional control. When we're completely present, we're more aware of our emotions as they arise. We can notice when we're starting to feel angry or anxious and address it before it spirals out of control. This doesn't mean ignoring or suppressing our feelings. It's about acknowledging them, understanding why they're occurring, and then letting them pass, like clouds in the sky. Living in the present is a skill, and like any skill, it takes practice. Start by dedicating a few moments each day to focus solely on the present. Pay attention to your senses, what you see, hear, smell, taste, and touch. Over time, you'll find that it becomes easier to stay present in various aspects of your life. In conclusion, living in the present is not about ignoring the past or future. It's about realizing the value of the present moment. By doing so, we can lead more fulfilling lives, characterized by inner peace and resilience. In the words of Seneca, another renowned Stoic philosopher, the whole future lies in uncertainty. Live immediately, so start today. Embrace the present moment and experience the profound benefits of this timeless Stoic practice. Let's delve into rule number 5, exercise virtue. Stoicism teaches us that virtue is the highest good and the source of our happiness. Virtue, according to the Stoics, is a disposition of the mind, a habit that we cultivate over time. It's about our character, our integrity, and the values we uphold. The 4 cardinal virtues of Stoicism are wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. Let's start with wisdom. Wisdom, in the Stoic sense, isn't about accumulating knowledge or being a walking encyclopedia. Rather, it's about knowing what is good, what is bad, and what is indifferent in life. It's about discernment, making sound decisions, and navigating life with clarity and insight. For example, when we find ourselves in a challenging situation, wisdom helps us to discern the best course of action. It helps us to recognize that our happiness is not dependent on external circumstances, but on how we choose to respond to them. Next, we have courage. Courage isn't about being fearless, but about acting rightly despite our fears. It's about standing up for what we believe in, even when it's not easy or popular. It's about facing our challenges head on, rather than avoiding them. For instance, if you have a fear of public speaking, but your job requires it, courage would be facing that fear and giving that presentation, knowing that you're doing what needs to be done. Justice is another key virtue in Stoicism. It's about fairness, righteousness, and treating others as we would like to be treated. It's about contributing to the common good and upholding social harmony. When we practice justice, we recognize the inherent dignity and worth of all individuals. We strive to be fair in our dealings and to advocate for those who are marginalized or disadvantaged. Lastly, there's temperance, which is about moderation and self-control. It's about not being swayed by our desires or aversions, but maintaining a balanced and measured approach to life. For example, we might enjoy eating sweets, but temperance would be knowing when to stop so we don't compromise our health. Exercising these virtues is a lifelong endeavor. It's not something we achieve overnight, but something we strive towards each day. And it's not always easy. It requires constant effort, self-reflection, and sometimes making tough decisions. But the rewards are worth it. When we exercise virtue, we cultivate a strong, resilient character. We live in alignment with our highest values, and we experience a deep sense of fulfillment and peace. So, remember, the aim is not to suppress or become emotionless, but to exercise virtue in the face of our emotions. It's about responding to our emotions with wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance, rather than being controlled by them. And as we cultivate these virtues, we'll find that we're not just managing our emotions, but actually thriving amidst them. It's a journey, a process of growth and self-improvement. So let's embrace it with open hearts and minds, and let the practice of virtue guide us towards a more balanced, fulfilling life. Rule number 6, practice dispassion. The term dispassion may sound intense or intimidating, but in the context of Stoicism, it's a fundamental concept. When Stoics talk about practicing dispassion, they refer to the state of apatheia, a state of serenity undisturbed by destructive emotion. It's important to note that dispassion isn't about being emotionless, but rather about not letting harmful emotions control you. So what does this look like in everyday life? How can we cultivate this dispassion and find that serene state of mind? Let's break it down. Firstly, we need to understand what emotions we're trying to control. Stoicism doesn't advise against all emotions, but it encourages us to be wary of what they call passions, extreme or destructive emotional states that can cloud our judgment. These could be emotions like fear, envy, lust, or uncontrolled anger. For instance, consider envy. It's an emotion that can consume us, making us feel inadequate and often unhappy. It's a comparison game where there are no winners, only dissatisfaction. When we practice dispassion, we recognize the emotion of envy when it arises. Instead of letting it take over, we step back, observe it, and then let it pass without acting on it. We remind ourselves that everyone has their own path and blessings, and it's more productive to focus on our own journey rather than comparing it to others. The process of practicing dispassion is, essentially, a practice of mindfulness. It's about being present and aware of your emotional state, observing your emotional state, observing your emotions without judgment, and then making the conscious decision not to be ruled by them. Mindfulness can be cultivated through various practices like meditation, journaling, or simply taking a few moments each day to check in with yourself and your emotional state. Over time, this practice can lead to a greater understanding of your emotions, why they arise, and how you can manage them effectively. Importantly, practicing dispassion doesn't mean ignoring your emotions. On the contrary, it requires acknowledging them, understanding them, but then not letting them control your actions or dictate your happiness. It's about finding that balance between feeling emotions and being overwhelmed by them. Stoics also advise us to use reason to combat destructive emotions. When we feel a strong negative emotion, we can use logic and reason to challenge it. For example, if you're feeling fearful about a future event, you might logically break down what you're scared of, consider the worst-case scenario, and then plan for how you'd handle it. This can help to reduce the intensity of the fear and make it more manageable. Practicing dispassion can have a profound impact on your life. It can lead to a greater sense of peace and tranquility, improve your relationships, and help you navigate life's ups and downs with more grace and resilience. It's a journey, not a destination, and like any skill, it requires practice and patience. But the rewards, a life less ruled by destructive emotions, are well worth the effort. In the end, remember that Stoicism is not about suppressing or denying emotions, but understanding them, managing them, and ultimately not being controlled by them. That's the essence of practicing dispassion. Let's delve deeper into rule number 7, embrace adversity. One of the core tenets of Stoicism is to view adversity not as a setback or a cause for despair, but rather an opportunity for growth and development. Stoics believe that every hardship, every challenge we face, can be turned into a valuable learning experience if we approach it with the right mindset. Let's consider a practical example. Imagine you're a seasoned athlete and one day you suffer a serious injury. This could mean months of recovery and missing out on tournaments. Naturally, this is a massive setback, but a Stoic would approach this situation differently. They would see this as an opportunity, a chance to develop patience, resilience, and perhaps explore new interests outside of their sport. This doesn't mean Stoics are masochists who enjoy suffering. On the contrary, they simply acknowledge that adversity is an inevitable part of life. As the Stoic philosopher Epictetus once said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This perspective can be incredibly empowering. When we view obstacles as opportunities, we take back control. We decide how we interpret and respond to the challenges we face. We can choose to see them as insurmountable roadblocks, or we can see them as stepping stones on our path to personal growth. Moreover, embracing adversity in this way can foster resilience, a crucial life skill. Resilience is our ability to bounce back from adversity. The more we practice seeing challenges as opportunities for growth, the more resilient we become. We learn to weather life storms not just with endurance, but with grace and wisdom. A key aspect of this principle is acceptance. Accepting that adversity is a part of life, that it's unavoidable, can free us from the anguish of wishing things were different. Instead of wasting energy on futile resistance, we can channel our efforts into constructive action. This Stoic approach to adversity also encourages us to step out of our comfort zone. By seeing challenges as opportunities, we're motivated to take on tasks that push our boundaries, that test our mettle. This is where real growth happens. Lastly, embracing adversity has the potential to shift our perspective on life. When we view every hardship as a chance to learn and grow, we start to see life not as a series of obstacles to be dreaded, but as a rich tapestry of experiences that shape us, that make us who we are. This shift in perspective can lead to a more fulfilling, more enriching life. It's important to remember that embracing adversity is a practice. It's not something that happens overnight. It requires patience, persistence, and a lot of self-compassion. But the rewards are well worth the effort. In conclusion, Embracing adversity isn't about inviting hardship into our lives or denying the pain it can cause. It's about redefining our relationship with adversity, seeing it not as an enemy but as a teacher. This Stoic practice empowers us to take control of our narrative, to grow from our challenges, and to live a richer, more resilient life. So the next time you face a hurdle, remember the Stoic way. Embrace adversity, for it holds the key to growth. Let's dive into the 8th point from our list, which is about the practice of gratitude in Stoicism. Gratitude in the Stoic philosophy isn't just an emotion or a reaction to something good happening in our lives. Instead, it's a profound, intentional appreciation for the simple fact of being alive and the many blessings that come our way, both big and small. Gratitude is a deliberate practice that can drastically change our perception of the world. Imagine if we started each day by recognizing the beauty of the sunrise, the taste of freshly brewed coffee, or the sound of birds singing outside our window. These seemingly small things provide a source of joy that is easily overlooked in the hustle and bustle of daily life. Stoics remind us to pay attention to these moments, to savor them, and to be grateful for them. But Stoicism also encourages us to find gratitude in our challenges and adversities. This may sound counterintuitive, but it's a powerful exercise in reframing our perspective. When we face a difficult situation, our natural tendency is often to focus on the negative. We feel victimized, frustrated, or stressed. However, Stoics advise us to view these situations as opportunities for growth and learning. Consider a scenario where you've had a disagreement with a friend. It's easy to dwell on the negative emotions associated with the conflict. However, a Stoic would encourage you to see this as an opportunity to practice patience, understanding, and empathy. You can be grateful for this chance to strengthen your emotional resilience and your relationship. Moreover, Stoicism teaches us to be grateful for the impermanence of life. Every moment is fleeting, and every experience, good or bad, is temporary. This understanding helps us appreciate our time more deeply. Knowing that our time with loved ones is limited makes us cherish them more. Recognizing that our challenges will pass helps us endure them with grace. Practicing gratitude also has a tremendous impact on our mental and emotional well-being. It shifts our focus from what's wrong with our lives to what's right, thereby reducing stress and promoting happiness. It helps us remain grounded in the present moment, appreciating what we have rather than worrying about what we don't. It fosters a positive mindset, which is key to overcoming life's hurdle. So how do we cultivate this Stoic practice of gratitude? It's simple, really. Start by setting aside a few minutes each day to reflect on what you're grateful for. It could be something as simple as a warm bed to sleep in, or something more profound like a supportive relationship. You could also keep a gratitude journal where you jot down a few things you're thankful for each day. In conclusion, practicing gratitude is a key aspect of Stoicism that can profoundly impact our emotional well-being. It's not about ignoring our difficulties or pretending everything is perfect. It's about acknowledging our blessings amid the chaos, finding lessons in our challenges, and appreciating the beauty of the present moment. It's a simple yet powerful practice that can lead to a more balanced, fulfilling, and joyful life. So, embrace the Stoic art of gratitude and see how it transforms your perspective.